Read my article,
Let's go for Piss first.
We're starting now. We started, so I'll finish. Right, good evening, welcome along to the podcast. It is, of course, the Tuesday Club. We join you just as Loris Karius has conceded his first goal in pre-season football.
It's a really bad one too.
Well, let's not go there for the moment. More importantly, though, England have won their semi-final against Croatia tomorrow night, and France are also through to the final. So it's a France-England final, lads, in the World Cup. We all happy about that?
No. Well, England are going to win the World Cup.
Okay, that's great. Anyway, look, it is, of course, the World Cup Tuesday Club special. I am joined by returning Welshman Dave Thomas. Well, I suppose you are British, so you're hoping that football's coming home. I am joined here by Jurgen Klopp's brother, Neil Gray.
Under his eye?
Yep.
What's an handmaid's tale film? What do you want me to say? No, blessed is the fruit.
I don't know. I wouldn't watch that show. And of course, Steve Brown.
How you doing?
Occasional tall guest.
That's the way we're being described now, is it?
And ITK.
That's it, yeah.
Do you want another drink? Because you've been on the Anfield Lab. You can have the two.
Yeah, you can have the two.
You're so special.
Karpaki cans.
So special.
You can have the two. Are these now Russian or Polish?
It doesn't matter, Phil. There were $5.50 for four. That was really.
There's a lot of Arabic writing.
There is a lot of Arabic writing. Arabic writing for alcohol. I think that's a misnomer.
Arabic country.
They're really going for
flying off the shelves.
They're going for the new markets. Anyway, right. So where are we? Right, tonight, lads, we're going to talk about the World Cup. We are going to talk about. What are we going to talk about? Hang on, let me turn this down so I can see the comments coming in. We're going to talk about Liverpool's pre-season so far, and we are going to talk about anything else that comes to mind. I didn't bother writing the agenda today because I was busy, so it'll just make it up as I go along. Really.
Okay, Phil, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it seems like it, and I've put a little live symbol that the people haven't seen before because we're live.
Live.
We are live. Yeah. And this will be out. When will it be out? At some stage tomorrow morning. It'll be out live on iTunes and other podcast and podcatchers that you can get. So it's good to see that Steve Brown has joined us, given that he's here. It's good to see he's joined us on Periscope as well. I don't know why. You're here. You're going to see what's going on live. But first of all, let's remember that the Tuesday Club is brought to you in association with RedsBet, and RedsBet are a betting site tailor-made for Liverpool supporters. RedsBet aims to share half of their net profits with Liverpool supporters and fan causes. So no matter what, the fans end up a winner, especially this week that's in it with England winning tomorrow night. You want to get on there and check out the odds. Of course, check out the odds on RedsBet.com or download the RedsBet app and share the glory and gamble responsibly. And I tell you what, look, if you aren't up for England being in the World Cup, she may as well win some money.
Can I just say though, I'm a Liverpool supporter and I have got no money off RedsBet yet.
Okay.
So you know the way they give it to Liverpool supporters? Yeah. When do I get mine?
You're Welsh, doesn't count. All right.
What's a bit of an there, buddy? Sorry.
Right, where are we? So, okay, lads, let's talk about first of all France versus Belgium. We sort of half watched a bit of that game. It was a strange game. Did you see?
I watched strange film.
I watched it. We watched 7 Dave watched the first half of it, and then we watched most of the second half of it. And
I know what you're saying. Being a World Cup semi-final, it never really got that intense.
It seemed to be more okay. Exactly, it didn't have that. It didn't look like two teams that were playing for a place in the World Cup final.
Yeah. The latter stages of the competition haven't looked like that generally. I mean, you can take, for example, the Brazil game was kind of the same thing.
Is that a Martinez thing?
I think it was very cagey. I think it's the prize on offer is the biggest place in the biggest game in world football.
Yeah.
So you can understand the caginess of the approaches from both teams. I think Martinez proved yet again that he can't coach a team to set up defensively. Okay. And then failed to make substitutions to change the game.
Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were pretty evenly matched is the other thing. I mean, you know, it would have been interesting to see either of these teams on the other side of the draw. Because really, Belgium-France on form is probably the final, right? That, you know,
the two better teams anyway, yeah.
So they kind of cancelled each other out a little bit, and they didn't want to make a mistake and set another set-piece goal. But I was expecting Belgium to win, to be honest with you. So I was a little disappointed now that it went the way it went, because look, if England get to the final, I just think France will bottle it, and then we're going to have Sir Gareth Southgate and Sir Harry Kane for...
The newspaper's going to be full of...
I can't do it.
If England win tomorrow, it's just going to be full of World War II
Look,
references.
semi-final's great. Great.
Do you reckon?
They've had their fun.
No,
there we go.
Especially French
Yeah,
World War
beating
II
France.
French World War II references. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but at the same time, that France team has Mbappe, it has Pogba, it has
Don't do it, Pogba.
Giroud,
I'd rather.
it has a lot of players that can move very quickly in front of a fairly slow
Except Giroud.
back three that England have, with the exception of Walker, but who isn't very good defensively.
No.
So do you not think that these are a team that will be able to exploit the weaknesses in the English defence? Because that English defence hasn't really come up against an attacking force in this World Cup.
If they
It came up against Colombia without Rodriguez, which is a non-entity.
This is my point. And Falcao alone, who's 104 years old, almost
well, at
in
last
lockdown.
count, he could be 108 now.
Yeah.
Well, let's recap what England have done. They've played Tunisia and they won in injury time. They beat Panama, and the four of us could beat Panama. Lost to the first good team they played, which was Belgium. Beat Colombia without their best player on penalties, and then Sweden are probably the second worst team in the tournament after Panama.
Yeah.
So they haven't actually faced anyone as tested them at all.
I think I get what you're saying. I think the competition has been very exciting in terms of the games that we've watched. The level, the standard of football, technically, if you think of it technically, hasn't been that high. And I think that's why you see teams, you've seen Sweden in the quarterfinals, you see England in the semi-final, and possibly in the final.
No, they're in the final.
Oh, they are in the final. That's great.
I think
Lovren gave an interview yesterday saying that he's going to be able to shackle Harry Kane. So that means they're definitely
haven't England only scored 2 goals that didn't come from set piece?
Yes.
Dele Alli in the last game and one of the goals against Panama, right?
Which was the second phase set piece.
Yeah, so it's like they're not breaking teams apart. Now I know Sterling could probably have won the Golden Boot if he'd put away half of his chances. So, but there's just this thing that I think if Croatia don't beat England tomorrow and they go to the final against France,
you fancy England against France?
You would.
Yeah,
you would.
Yeah.
Steve, can I put it to you though that French defence is very susceptible to crosses, and going back to Dave's point that most of the English goals have come from set pieces and crosses, they actually are set up lovely for Harry Kane to score a hat-trick.
It's Harry Maguire.
No, Harry Kane.
Yeah, one of them's going to score a hat-trick. No, they just, France can cause teams problems, but they are susceptible at the back. The two fullbacks don't fill me with a whole lot of confidence. I think there's two better fullbacks on the bench for them, Sidibe and Mendy. I'm terrified that England are just literally going to Sam Allardyce their way to the World Cup. They're going to win the World Cup playing Sam Allardyce tactics. Having sacked Sam Allardyce 2 years ago.
Well, so the only thing is they've gone 3 at the back, and Belgium went 3 at the back this night, and they caused an awful lot of hassle to that French team.
Yeah, but Belgium
they got through them.
Belgium have a lot more creativity.
But there's a lot. They play well and they're not playing well and they're tactically and all that. But there's a lot to be said for momentum in a competition as well. And England have
momentum's a fallacy.
No, it's not a fallacy.
Yeah, it's a fallacy.
No, it's not. No. It's a fallacy. You need to speak to Isaac Newton. It's not a fallacy. It's an actual thing.
You are the king of fucking fallacies, bringing up things that are fallacies.
Are you saying that I'm a penis?
I'm saying you're a phallic-shaped fallacy.
No, but there is such a thing as momentum. Man.
There's not such a thing as momentum.
Of course there is.
I think the way
it's been disproved, Neil.
It hasn't been. And who has disproved the theory?
Smarter people than me.
See, I have momentum here.
I think that the togetherness of the group, that's quite obvious coming from the outside, that it does seem as though
we're calling it momentum togetherness now, right?
No, the togetherness of the England squad.
Is there such thing as togetherness then?
See, togetherness is real. Right? But momentum is a fallacy.
Okay.
But it seems, in fairness, it does seem impressive that he's been able to pull aside
together. Well, if they aren't together, they'd be all very lonely. They won't be able to feel. Oh, here we go again.
Sake. Oh, jeez.
Keeping it well, isn't he? You good one, that lad.
Tranmere. It's Tranmere, Istanbul.
3-0 up at half time, they were. Liverpool. Just point out. What's
Captain Phillips? Is that the one with Tom Hanks?
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. Looking at the
goal scorer looks like
Milner looks like he's definitely.
Anyone watching live now? The video feed are having a great time.
Honestly,
this is professional stuff.
We get back to it even. Anyway, Milner looks like he's done too much training. He looks knackered.
We can't blame Milner there.
It's a terrible ball.
All we can do is blame the goalkeeper.
We go back to it. Anyway, look, Mbappe, he's a beast.
Yes.
When it comes to football, right? Like he literally looks like he has all the tools needed to single-handedly take apart that English defence.
Yes.
He has power. He has.
Tell
pace,
me, what side does he predominantly drift towards? The right-hand side.
We seem to be drifting towards the right-hand side.
That's where Walker is.
Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire, who has no pace whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
I think he's going to sit in
if
between
you're looking for
Stones and
areas to
Maguire.
exploit.
He's going to try to exploit the gap between Stones and Maguire.
Yeah.
Look, Maguire's
get
got
down
one
that
thing
channel.
going for him. He's got a head like a Ford Mondeo, right? That's the only thing he's got. He's not
Like
quick.
my one there.
No,
A head like
not
a
yours.
Hayden
It's not like your Ford Mondeo. But Mbappe is so good, to be honest with you. I'd have him on the bench ahead of Solanke for us next season.
Would you?
I really would.
That's a big shout.
He's that good. And but I think that if you were France, but I said this earlier against Belgium, if you were France, you'd have Griezmann and Mbappe and Dembele just running at that English back line.
Okay.
I dropped Giroud personally because Giroud is, meat and two veg for that England centre.
He's a good man to bring on for the last half an hour. But
Yeah,
Giroud as
I
well.
wouldn't start with him. I think
no, neither would I.
wouldn't start with him.
Right, lads, I'll tell you what, I'm going to digress a wee bit and we'll go straight into what we've seen in the Liverpool friendly so far, because to be honest with you, right, it needs to be talked about. And, everyone's given him a chance and saying the support is there. But Karius tonight has had an absolute
Nightmare.
Man.
oh my God! I can't. Let's
do it. Let's do Karius. Let's get it out the way.
We may as well get it out of the way. The first goal, anyway, he concedes tonight against Tranmere. It's a free kick that's hit straight at him.
Into his belly.
Bounces off his chest and hands, bounces back out nicely to the forward. Well, that's a good save on Karius there.
It wasn't Karius.
Tranmere
No, it
keeper.
wasn't Karius.
But it bounced straight back to the forward and in it goes. And then they break down the line and he gets beaten. Let's be honest about it, he gets beaten at his near post as well. Dave, is there any way back?
Well, listen, pre-season's all about getting mistakes out the way, right?
We're seeing the Champions League final as pre-season.
Basically, what he's done is he's gone, if I'm going to fuck up,
Yeah.
let's fuck up against Tranmere.
Yeah.
So he's got his mistake out of the way. So I'm all right with that.
You happy with that, are you?
I'm happy with that. So now I think he's going to be flawless for the rest of the campaign.
Right.
No, look, he's in his own head, and this is what happens with goalkeepers, right? You're in your own head. And how many goalkeepers have we seen, even just at Liverpool?
He could still be suffering the effects of concussion,
Well, he
though,
could. But he's also suffering Liverpoolitis, which is what happens to goalkeepers. It happened to
It does,
Westerveld, happened to Dudek, happened to Reina. All three of them went
Scott
over
Carson.
a cliff, in one season. And Minile was already over the cliff when he joined us. And Karius now, you just can't come back from that in this environment.
A lot of people are saying you have to trust Klopp, and Klopp is continuing to give him support. But
Of course he is. He's not going to say anything different. But the first question after the game is going to be, what's going on with Karius?
Yeah.
And Klopp is going to continually have to say, leave the boy alone, don't do this, don't do that.
Well, of
And
course
it's
he has, because
pre-season,
he's
it doesn't matter.
From two point of views, he's saying that you have to leave the boy alone. First one, to protect his value, and secondly, because we have no other option, because he's already pinned his colours to the mast. With Mingley isn't my number one choice, so Karius is. So where do we go from here? I mean, if we seem to be saying to ourselves it's Alisson or nothing. So, and the chances are we're not going to spend
Follow it up.
100 million on a
Penalty.
goalkeeper. So Alisson isn't going to sign for Liverpool. So we are.
I
We're
bet I will sign Alisson.
for 100 million.
I don't think they'll
I don't
want
think it's
that
a 100
much.
million fee. Personally, with Karius, I think it's a case of accepting mediocrity. If he starts the game of the
the
season,
problem with Karius is he's shit.
He's not shit.
I don't think he's shit. Not only I don't think he's shit, but I don't think he ever recovers
The
from what
last
he's
two
done in
games
PF.
I've seen him playing for Liverpool, he was the Champions League and this.
I don't think he ever
Yeah,
recovers.
but that's a very small
that's a very
sample
small
size.
sample size.
Yeah, but that's all I need.
It's a fallacy again.
One is a half of a game.
No.
in
I'll
a
tell you
friendly
why he's
match.
shit. Because if your goalkeeper, you need to when you want someone to rely on when
Neil,
the chips
it's
are down,
pre-season
and when
friendly.
it doesn't matter. Let me finish. You asked me a question, I'm going to answer.
I
Maybe you
didn't.
didn't
You
even
just
answer me a
jumped
question.
in. You just jumped
You're
in.
saying to me he's not shit. Well, and I'm going to tell you the reasons why he is not as good as we would hope our goalkeeper would be. Because when you really need a goalkeeper to perform when you're under pressure, he can't do that.
But you don't do it in a pre-season friendly
No,
against
I'm
Tranmere.
talking about the Champions League. And
But that's your sample size.
And
You
he
just
had
said it's the
concussion.
last two games I had.
so what are you got? So you're telling me you're telling me he's a good goalkeeper, Karius.
I'm telling you that he is not as bad as
His last two performances
in the Champions
fair
League
enough.
final.
Can I make a
But
non?
you're not going to ask. But let me. My retort would be: when you really needed him to perform, when we were really under pressure, did he perform? Can you rely on him? Would you rely on him? Would you let him mind your kids?
What's what do the kids have to do? He's
I'm
not
just
going to drop
asking
them.
you. Can you rely on him?
He's not going to drop them.
Can you? Yes, probably would. Can
So, can I give a non-sarcastic response?
you? Yes, please do.
I don't think I can give a non-sarcastic response, but let me try. So here's my defence of Karius, and I am saying that he is upgradable, right? I'm not arguing that.
Okay.
So, but I think if you look at the performance since Van Dijk and him came into the team, right?
Let's just say Hens Van Dijk came in.
No, because I don't think that's true.
No, I think it is mutual.
Right? There's a that defensive unit did the equivalent of 30 goals over a season, conceded, right? And Karius is poor and he has the fuck up in it, but we also have to acknowledge that he allows the team to play higher up the field, which is a better outlet for the way we like to play. And to it, there's some similarities to Lovren, right? Lovren is going to have a 1 out of 10 game every 20 games, right?
Not a goalkeeper stuff.
But Karius is the same.
Yeah, but I don't think you can have that from a goalkeeper.
And I'm saying he's
like
upgradable,
if you're saying to
but
me,
he's not shit.
Well, what I would say to that is if he
I
allows...
disagree.
Let me finish. If
No,
he
I
allows the
disagree
team
with you
to play higher
Fundamentally,
up the
I disagree with what you just said
Well,
there.
let me finish what
No,
I'm
hang on a
say.
second. You just said, Dave said he's going to have a 1 out of 10 game in every 20 games, and you said you can't have that as a goalkeeper.
No, you can't.
I'm telling you, if you have a goalkeeper that has 1 error in every 20 games, that's less than 1 error.
A goalkeeper's going to have 1 error
That's less than 2 errors per season.
That's impossible as a human being to have 1 error every 20 games.
David Seaman, who is the last world-class English goalkeeper.
He had a ponytail. He had an error every time he played.
David Seaman worked towards making sure he only made an error 1 every 10 games.
Well,
that's what him and Nigel... It did.
I don't think it did.
It did.
Listen, you're looking at back in an idyllic view of the past.
No,
There's no such thing.
It's not, because that's what...
The summers were like this every year when we were kids.
That's what top-level goalkeepers aim for.
Well, let me tell you what I
Do
was going to...
you win a league? Do you win a league with Loris Karius? Do you challenge for a title with Loris Karius and go next season?
Potentially.
It's too much of a risk, Phil.
No, see, this is the thing now. Now we're into risk versus reward.
Yeah, that's what we should be. We should be aiming to win a league title next season.
Well, let's reverse it.
Sorry, Dave. City didn't win the league 2 years ago because of their goalkeeper, because of Claudio Bravo.
Yeah.
So last summer they went and spent 36 million quid on Edison. And Edison, I'm not saying Edison won them the league because he didn't, but he could completely transform the way they play.
Well, let me, again...
Because they could rely on him to make saves.
I think we should upgrade Karius. I'm not arguing that. But let me reverse engineer. If if that defensive unit had been in place all season, we would have challenged for the league. Because the number of goals we conceded would have made this title challenges.
I think we write off the league after a certain point, though. When it gets obvious, last season we write off the league when it gets to the point where we realise that the Champions League.
Yeah, I think
is
to
the
kind of
prize.
dissect the league into
that has
certain
never become our
phases.
focus.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
Dave,
is,
you know what I mean?
we conceded the equivalent of 30 goals across the season in the second half of the season, right? If you put Karius, Van Dijk and Lovren and Alexander-Arnold and Robertson in place from day one and have a 38-game season.
No, but listen, what you've just become
goals.
there is like every other Liverpool fan. If we had played the way we played for the last 3 minutes of that match, we would have won the league.
What the fuck did you just say to me?
You've become a Liverpool family there. Like that's what you've done. Listen, if you want to dissect the league down at the individual games and say we play like that every week, we win the league. That's ridiculous.
It's not individual games. It's 20 games.
It doesn't matter. You can't dissect the league
It's
and say
down to the one game, which is your sample size.
No, you can't just say.
He said 2 games.
2 games. One of which is
a game and a half. The Champions League final in this match.
Does he recover from Kia? This is the big question.
Does
he recover?
He can.
Well, he can. Of course, he can.
But he can, and he very much can if his head is tuned into recovering from it. If he's going onto the pitch
Doesn't
like
look
tonight,
like it is,
no,
though.
this is my point. If he goes onto the pitch tonight and that goal is him being concerned about his handling, right? Then we've got an issue.
Maybe I was being a little bit facetious in what I was
He's in
saying.
his own head.
What I was saying
That's
I don't
what
think
Dave
he's
said.
in his head.
I don't
And
think
that's
he
the
has the capability to come back from it mentally.
And I think
I don't think he's
agree.
mentally. I agree with that. I don't think he's
agree.
mentally strong enough to
I
get
don't
over
think so.
what happened in
So
Kiev.
it's not a
And come here,
attribute thing.
and
It's a
come here, it's not a
mentality.
slight on him either. I don't think many people would be able to because he's only a young lad.
I don't know how he got up
was
in the
in the
morning.
spotlight.
I don't know how he got out of bed the next day. Seriously, after what happened in the
Yeah, I
Champions
think
League
it's-
final.
it's,
I
you know
mean, I
what I mean?
felt for the boy.
That's what I was saying yesterday in the article I wrote. If you'd like to see it on the website.
No.
I don't think it's particularly fair to ask him to come back from it either. I think he should be dealt with a little bit differently. And how I would be dealing with it would be letting him go.
So, what is the solution, Phil?
The solution.
We know what. Well, I know.
The
What is the solution? What do you feel is the solution as the goalkeeping expert around the table?
Well, don't be watering your garden. It's forcing.
You're not allowed. There's a house pipe on. Look, there is no solution. There is, because I'll put it this way, right? We go out and we spend 60 million on Alisson, right? There is no guarantee.
No, there's not.
No, and
There's
because,
not, you're
because
right.
not only that, he's
Yeah.
coming in from the Italian league where goalkeepers aren't put under the same amount of pressure physically when they're coming for crosses or the amount of crosses that they face in
It
a
doesn't
game.
come for crosses. It doesn't come for crosses.
Benfica.
Portugal,
Yeah, where did Courtois come from?
Ederson.
Spain.
But that was
Support
after
from-
that he was sent out to Atletico Madrid and would have had the run in Europe. All I'm saying with Alisson, there seems to be this belief that he is good enough from both the scouting staff of the club, from the noises that came out, right?
Yes.
So they're obviously looking at saying he's more than capable of coming in and being able to adapt in the same way Reina was. But if you remember, Reina after his 5th game for Liverpool, Rafa said he had 10 games to save his position.
Yes.
Because he was dropping crosses, he didn't realise. Yeah. And even Reina himself said it was a very hard adjustment to make. He didn't realise how big the adjustment was coming into the English game and the number of crosses he was going to face because he wasn't used to that in Spain. And he was regarded as the best cross taker in Spain before coming in.
But maybe, and this is, so maybe what Alisson has, which is obviously the bits that we don't see, but it's what the scouts and that do see, is maybe he does have that mentality that he's going to be able to ride out the adjustment period. Because if we say that Karius, physically and attribute wise has a lot of the things you need to be a top goalkeeper, he lacks the mentality, then maybe what they've seen in Alisson is, look, he's a bit raw on a few things, but he's got that.
Well, and listen, we've back to back this autumn now.
This is the big issue. That's the secondary issue with Karius. That we have a goalkeeping coach who's proven that he hasn't improved goalkeepers.
He's proven
he has proven his work isn't up to scratch. When did he come in?
He came in as reserve goalkeeping coach for Rafa.
Under Javi Valero.
Under Valero.
So Valero leaves and then Reina goes down the pan.
No,
do you know what I think it is? I don't think he has a staff number at Liverpool.
Forget that, right? I want to go back to, there is one thing that I say here. If we're going to prepare to spend 60 million on Alisson, or prepared to spend big money, but hang on, prepared to spend big money, why not? Everyone is talking about Oblak. Forget Oblak. Manuel Neuer. He's coming back off an injury. You put 60 million in front of Bayern Munich and they'll deal. They will deal.
I don't think.
Yeah, well, why would he go to Liverpool?
Why wouldn't he? He's on 130 grand at the moment at Bayern Munich. If you were going out to sign Manuel Neuer, who is arguably the best goalkeeper in the world when he's fully fit, then you would literally
have the best goalkeeper
in the world.
Well, let's look at it another way. Yeah, I agree on Neuer, by the way. I would
imagine not agreeing that we should sign Neuer.
Imagine. I think he's over the hill personally, but
spend the Coutinho money on the hair.
So let's turn the Karius question around a little bit. How many goalkeepers could you name that we could sign, that if we signed them in the morning, you would be 100% sure they'd be better than Karius? 10.
No, there's
better than Karius.
No, not better.
That they came to Liverpool tomorrow, they would be better than him.
Easily.
Go on in.
De Gea.
Yeah.
Ederson.
Yeah.
Courtois.
Yeah.
Neuer. Oblak. Alisson. Donnarumma.
Donnarumma is better than Neuer.
That's not a real name even.
Get out of it. Steve Brown, get out of it.
I think
get out the fucking door now.
I think what we're getting down to there is
Reina is better than Neuer.
Better than Karius.
Well,
no, I think what we're saying is you can't. No, I mean the point we're missing here is every transfer is nearly 50-50 whether it's going to work out or not. So there's no one you can sign that you're going to be 100% sure it's going to be.
Navas. I've been long on this. Navas has played now at a big club with huge pressure. No, has played at a big club with huge pressure and has performed in the big games.
So there's so let's take your 10 and let's actually think about how many we could sign, right? So none of the Premier League goalkeepers we can sign.
We could sign Courtois.
No, we can't.
Yes,
I don't know. So I don't think we get. But anyway, okay. Let's.
I think there's a figure they deal for because he's out of contract.
50-50, right? So you got Alisson, Oblak. No, I don't think we get. Well, okay, Neuer maybe, but let's say Alisson, Oblak, Navas. So there's 3 goalkeepers, right? So essentially, what you're saying is to improve on Karius, right? We are going to have to pay £80 million. So the question then is there an £80 million difference between a season with Karius and a season with, I don't know, Alisson?
Does Alisson win the league?
I don't know.
It's worth 80 million.
I don't know enough about him.
But if that one player, if it's Navas, if it's whoever,
I'd be more confident if it was Oblak because he's done it in a tougher league. To be honest,
I can imagine the kittens people have watching Oblak.
Kev O'Sullivan says here, there's a roundabout that needs to happen with keepers and Madrid will start it. Or they may not, because Chelsea have to sign a goalkeeper if Courtois leaves.
But the thing is, Courtois he's out of contract next summer. So there needs to be a decision made. Does he sign the new deal or do they sell?
Isn't that down to Matt Sarri? What's his name that's taken over?
They don't know. This is the thing. Sarri
still hasn't taken over.
Still hasn't taken over.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other question.
I tell you who it shouldn't be though, is Danny fucking Ward.
Well,
right? People need to stop. Danny Ward is a championship promoted goalkeeper, right? If we signed the goalkeeper from Cardiff City, would we all be happy signing that keeper? That's the level Danny Ward is playing.
I completely agree with you because that's the best way. That's the best gauge of Danny Ward because that's what he's played.
Yeah.
Would we be happy if we signed your man Losel from Huddersfield? Because that's where Danny Ward was before he
I
came
don't
back.
think we would be.
But that's what I mean.
there's very few keepers in the Premier League that improves what we have.
Because it isn't just about saving shots and claiming crosses. Klopp plays a very particular way, right? And I think we've talked before in this pod about being a defender in Klopp's system is really hard. I think being a goalkeeper in the system is really hard. Particularly, ironically, now that we're much better defensively, keeper has very little to do. You need him to be very quick off his line. You know,
A lot will say that Ward is only 24. Now, let me remind you,
Literally the same day as Karius.
is the same age as Ward.
Born on the same day.
We're prepared to say that Ward's a young keeper who needs a chance.
But Karius is past that.
But Karius is past and doesn't deserve a chance. Like you've got with young goalkeepers. The problem with young goalkeepers, and this is why when teams go out, top level teams who are looking to make the next step, often sign a keeper. They look to bring in an experienced pro who is used to the mentality that's needed for big pressure games. It's why I'd say again about the Leno signing for Arsenal. I said Leno's biggest fault, and we were talking about this earlier, Dave. Leno's biggest criticism and his biggest fault in his game is that he is prone to a big mistake in the big games and has been right the way through his Leverkusen time, and even to the point where he missed out on a spot at the World Cup because every time he got a chance in the German jersey, he made a mistake.
Is that not
Do you
just
know who I'd
Leverkusen in
equate it to,
general?
Phil, in terms of goalkeepers? Who a goalkeeper you particularly like? I can't think of it now. The German porn star lad who played goal for Arsenal.
Kevin Trapp? No.
Played
Yeah,
goal for
Lehmann.
Arsenal.
Lehmann.
Yeah, not a particularly good goalkeeper, but he had
No,
that
he was.
mentality.
No,
Let me
he
just
was
finish.
a good
Let me
goalkeeper.
just finish what I'm trying to say. Not a particularly orthodox goalkeeper.
Correct, he wasn't orthodox.
But he had that big game mentality because he was just born winner, and you could see it in him. Maybe it was the German thing, but let's not get into that with the Leysen World Cup. But I think that's the point you're trying to make.
That was about Germans and Russia. Just never works.
Well, the last
It's
time
the same
Germany,
with France.
The
France came
last
close.
time Germany went out.
When Napoleon went into Russia, he came close, but it just fell
The
at the
last time
final
Germany
hurdle.
went out this early was 1938.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is the following year wasn't great. I'm building a bunker.
I think goalkeepers is a really hard position because I think that because we've got such a concentration of the top goalkeepers in the Premier League at the moment, it feels like there's lots of them, but there actually isn't.
No, there's not. You're right. Yeah.
And I think that you go down through each of the clubs that we compete with, and the goalkeepers that they've gone through who have been as dodgy as Karius. Almunia at Arsenal. Fucking Czech last season was
Fabianski at
terrible.
Arsenal.
Fabianski.
Czech at Arsenal.
They're all
Yeah,
Arsenal.
seems to be a link there.
But even De Gea, right? De Gea in his first season, and I'm not comparing, but De Gea in his first season.
First two
It
seasons.
Like now,
Yeah,
I
think he was
remember.
treated a lot differently.
But he was in and out, and he was perfect. He was managed
Yeah,
perfect.
he was
Exactly.
managed
Because
perfect.
there was
exactly.
who was the other guy they had?
Lingard.
Lingard.
He now plays centre back for them.
Scoring goals
Yeah.
in the World Cup.
Chelsea
black.
before Courtois had Czech.
Check.
So they've probably been the only stable side really in terms of goalkeepers. Even Lloris, who everyone fucking loves,
He's a fraud.
he's absolute.
Although he was
saved
his
tonight
save
was
tonight
amazing.
gets them into the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Karius made a great save in the Champions League semi-final, right?
And he made a great save in the Champions League final. Everyone just forgets
Just
it.
happened. to
He did, yeah.
He just
Well, he
happened
didn't
to-
mean to do it. He was concussed.
Didn't know what was doing. I was waiting for his doctors.
All
One of the questions says,
goalkeepers.
how many of the current Premier keepers are better than Karius? I would argue
5.
that potentially is 6.
De Gea, Edison, Courtois,
Ederson.
Lloris.
Loris,
Nah.
Kasper
Yeah,
Schmeichel.
I'd say, Schmeichel is better than him.
Schmeichel.
I'm not saying he will be.
Jordan.
Pickford is better than
No.
Karius.
His arms are too small. His
Pickford
arms
is
are
having a
too
great
small.
I'll have
tournament.
Pickford.
But he's on the same level.
Is that what we're saying? You need big players with the mentality then that can rise up to the occasion, like Pickford has done. I'm not saying we should sign him by any means. I'm just saying he is better than Lawrence Karius.
I don't believe that.
That's opinion.
I think
You're
if
wrong.
you look back over the season, Pickford made as many mistakes as Carrigan. Right?
But we don't watch
More.
Everton, so it's good.
More.
I mean,
And he was being criticised in the first game for having very small arms.
Yeah.
And again the Belgian match, tiny arms, dinosaur head.
He saves that if he has proper arms.
Yep.
Diana's all go.
look, it's not and again, it's not a case of being.
Somebody saying Fraser Foster, honest to God.
That is the worst. Listen, who said that?
I don't know, but
the worst
and
shout ever, whoever it is.
Butland, Fraser Foster, they're throwing in.
Listen,
Pope,
I'll give the one thing I'll say about Jack.
May as well just throw in random fit words.
The one thing I'll say about Butland is I was at the Stoke game towards the end of the season, and it was a nothing game because it was between the two Roma games. And Butland was fucking atrocious. He came, he slid out for a ball.
Your analysis on one single game. We're not allowed to do that. Phyllis just told me.
He slides out, ball bounces up off him when it's an easy pick up. Its kicking is absolutely horrific. Butland is not the answer.
Okay, let me roll it on because I want to get on to something else that isn't goalkeepers, and that's the potential for someone within the ranks. A lot of talk this week has been about Daniel Sturridge after his performance against, I think it was Old Church United at the weekend. And
Wayside, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Wayside. Wayside would have beat us. No, it wasn't Clondalkin Celtic. They're a step up from Chester City. But right, Sturridge there's been a renaissance talk about him, like maybe this is the year that his body stays together. I think history at this stage will tell us that as good as Sturridge will have a pre-season, there's quite possible the fact that he's going to have a hamstring strain by the end of September and be out for at least 3 months, right?
Yeah, hamstring strain by the end of
Can I ask about the lads that started tonight? Ojo was very impressive. And he looks like a kid who's gone out. The loan has done him. While he was in and out of Fulham, he looks to come back a bigger player. But also, he hasn't lost his pace, and he seems to be over his injuries, and was very effective against Tranmere tonight, and was very good in that top three.
I think I agree. He was very good tonight. So we're not doing Sturridge, right?
Well, we can come back to him, but I'm just...
Like, do we have to say because it's just a fucking...
For Ojo,
the same old drum.
The challenge Ojo's going to have, and the challenge a lot of the younger players have, is that Klopp plays a very particular way. Yeah. Like Ojo's a winger, Harry Wilson's a winger, Woodburn's a number 10, and the truth is we don't play with any of those. Yeah. We don't play with any of those guys, so the problem for Ojo is going to be, and we talked about it earlier, if he stays, right, where's he getting his game time? Because we're going to keep one of Origi and Sturridge, okay? We're going to sign another attacker, and probably attacking midfielder. So if we sign Fecker, for example, he can play anywhere in the front three and behind them. We'll probably sign another winger. I just don't see where he gets his game. But he's further ahead physically than Wilson. So if you're going to keep one of them, you keep Ojo, I think.
Is he Jordan Ive Mark II?
No, I think he's got more of a brain.
I think he's a better footballer.
I don't know. No, I didn't see.
I think he's more like
Do you know what worries me is that he's part Sterling at that age, but he's also part Titi Kamara.
Well, there is that. There is that
everybody needs a bit of
unpredictability.
TT in them.
A
Everybody
bit
does.
mad, like.
No, but he has that level of unpredictability in his play, right? More like an Asprilla. He's the same type.
It's the same gate as him and everything.
Yeah, but I like
That's
that because players that he's up against don't know whether he's going to go inside or outside them. But he plays with his head up, and that's the one thing that I've always liked. When he got into the team, I got a little run under Klopp. Whenever he played, he always plays with his head up.
He always produced something.
There is one thing you can say about Klopp, though, as far as I'm aware, and maybe others will be more aware than me, but I really doubt it. Klopp does he is willing to give youth a chance. He is willing to allow the lads to progress, and he's not willing to just let them in the League Cup and that. He will put them in the big games to see if they can handle it. But the thing is, if they don't handle it, then they're fucked. So,
to be fair, Klopp does like him young, so I think it's possible that he will give one of the youngsters, like a squad place. But he's not going to do it.
The thing.
It's top heavy, isn't it?
The massive issue, it is. But the massive issue last season was the drop off in quality.
Yeah.
There needs to be a bridge in that gap. They can't go from Salah, Mane, Firmino to Ings and Solanke. There needs to be in between.
I think if we have
but
five,
the first half,
and if it is going to be Ojo, or if it's going to be Woodburn or Ryan Kent or Harry Wilson, whoever it is, there needs to be a bridge between them.
But does the first half of the season not afford us a chance to use some more of these younger players who won't necessarily get the run in the second half of the season? Because you have League Cup matches, you have Champions League games, and you have league games.
I think
I see what you're saying.
We have a higher volume of games.
Aside, you do have it because you can't afford to take your foot off the gas in the league at all. The way City are going to start.
I
don't think.
But in the League Cup and the Champions League, absolutely you can.
You have a higher volume of games,
and
these are the games where you can play an Ojo, you can give Wilson a run in the top three. And my assumption now is that
you can give him a run with Firmino and Salah, say.
And also that my assumption is that we're going to potentially sign max 2 more players in this window, One being an attacker, whether it's an attacking midfielder or whatever it is, and potentially a goalkeeper. I think that's all we'll do, because that will be 4 players into the squad that weren't there previously, and we've replaced Emre Can, who's left, right? So and there's also Grujic is to come back from the World Cup.
Well, he's going to go to Cardiff, I think.
Big lad, great feet.
But do you know what I mean? I just feel that if you look at it and you stand back from it, you say, okay, in pre-Christmas, there's the opportunity for the likes of an Ojo or a Wilson who will step up, somebody who steps up and grabs a position.
But I think Steve is right, to be fair. I think that he's going to look to have, let's say, a squad of 20, 21, 22. And the gap between the top and the bottom of that squad has to be closer than it was last season. And the problem with bringing an Ojo or a Wilson or an Erjari or whoever it is okay, yeah, we could throw him in a League Cup game or whatever, but we'll probably go out first round, and then suddenly that's your bench. So the question is going to be, once he gets those 21 players, if Ojo is in that 21, it means he's had a great pre-season and we've seen something of him. But my view is that we'll probably not do that and send him out on loan.
I think we need to go bigger. I think the squad needs to be bigger. We need to hit the ground running. I think Klopp has realised that there is an opportunity. At the start of the season, City are going to be missing X amount of players. United are going to be missing so many players. Whoever it is, we're missing 3.
Plus Spurs are going to win the World Cup.
Spurs are going to win the World Cup, but they're missing. They're basically missing their starting 11 at the start of the season. We are missing 3. 3 starting players from last season's team.
Spurs signed up for bonus points again, though.
Did they? Yeah. Oh, they're getting 3 points for the 2 all draws, are they?
Yeah, we're getting no red cards.
Shit.
For some reason, they got the fucking facts again. They said no red cards, but they're getting bonus points.
Are we getting penalties this year in Anfield?
No, bollocks.
Oh, we had a penalty in pre-season.
But there is.
But we have asked for VAR for the second half of the season. Yeah.
If I was Klopp, I would be in
the VAR pool.
Ian Rush is doing it.
So to come back to where we spend our money. If I was Klopp, I'd be overloading the front half of the team. Like, even if it may not...
it is?
No,
it's not over. It's not at all, because the issue was last season that we weren't able to rest Salah, or because that drop off was so huge. But you can't have that without that bridge that you're saying. Like,
yeah, I agree. So I would buy another attacker, and I'd buy an attacking midfield player. So I'd buy Fecker.
So who do you buy?
So let's say Fecker, right?
Bad news, Davey.
I bet we sign him, and then another winger. Like,
okay, Dybala, lads. That's the name that's on everyone's lips. After Cristiano Ronaldo has signed today for Juventus,
which is the greatest signing in the history of football.
It's the greatest bit of transfer business in the history of football.
Sign him for 80 million.
Sign him for 80 million. Sell him for get 9 years out of him. Scores nearly 500 goals, and then sell him for 25 million quid profit. Amazing.
And he's gorgeous.
But they paid in sterling, so Madrid only paid United today.
So it means we're not going to sign Ramos.
Which meant that
how does Madrid sell him when he's only on loan United? How does that work?
Because
that's how it works.
That's how. The one thing I will say is the greatest. Let's just be thankful that Ronaldo's last goal wasn't against Liverpool in the Champions League final. Thanks to somebody who invaded the pitch. Whoever that man was, I owe you fucking 2 drinks.
I forgot about that.
Do you not remember that?
Rules all against
I just grabbed him.
I thought it was locked.
But let's remember that was the moment that prevented Cristiano Ronaldo scoring in a Champions League final, right? That would have been the last thing he did for Real Madrid, but instead his last moment would be a Liverpool fan running on to stop him scoring in the Champions League final.
But you know what,
he's scored in the Champions League final. He'll score in the Champions League final for
another 5 years. He will play for another 5 years, easily.
Yeah.
He's thinking, how can I beat Messi's goal?
He's going to score 40 goals this season too, isn't he?
He's thinking, forget Messi. He's looking at Romario's over 1,000 goals in a professional
Pele.
Pele had 940 million goals.
Was Romario?
No, Pele
counted the goals he's got in his backyard.
Go back and look. Romario beat Pele's goal record. He counted every goal. Training
and everything when he was 6.
Kids in the back garden, the whole lot. He had a FIFA representative there all the time.
Counting.
Look at that. Good question, Kev. Would we, if there was an opportunity to buy Cavani because of...
Who's Kev?
Kev was on.
Oh.
Came in there. Would we look at Cavani? No. I like him. No. I like because he can play in multiple positions across that tree.
I'd rather the other lad that plays up front for Uruguay. Let's be honest about it. I think
Suarez?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because you're a fanboy.
No. Fuck off.
He's not
He's
coming
the best
back.
player we've ever
He's
seen.
not
play
coming
for
back to
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Everyone keeps
Have you
saying
ever seen John
James
Barnes play for
Pearce
Liverpool?
says that we're not in contact with the Bala. Well, it's lucky because we normally talk to their agents first because we aren't allowed to talk to the players. If you want to remember this is what happened.
Blackpool
Has he
and
met
stick
him
a
in
rock.
Blackpool yet? This is the thing.
Like,
Has
the
he been in
thing is,
Blackpool?
Blackpool.
we learned our lesson after the Blackpool. We can't
After the
talk to
Walters.
players until we've agreed a fee with the agent, the imaginary agent, 16 ITKs and the club, and then we can
Now
talk to
Liverpool
the
do,
player.
they get the
Until
sticker
Greg
rock,
Kelly
yeah,
says
and
it's
get will
wrong,
it. Now on the inside, we get will you sign for Liverpool written on the sticker rock on the and then 70k on the next one.
70k, and then you have a long
And then
sticker
in
rock.
cash, in
No,
cash.
120k. There's a whole transfer.
Lads making fucking rock all over the place.
Blackpool is the new transfer centre. It's not fax machines, it's sticker rock machines there. Lashing out 120. No, I would only consider 150.
But to Cavani, no, I wouldn't. I think there's.
I think
First of all, I
he-
don't think he'd be happy being.
No,
on the
yeah,
bench.
yeah.
You know,
I don't
he's not a
think he needs
squad
to be a
player.
main man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You know, I think-
This is the thing with Dybala as well. I don't think we're spending that money on Dybala. I don't see where he fits.
Yeah.
I don't see us paying 90 million quid for a squad
No.
player. We might pay 90 million. Like we paid 75 million quid
think
for the
you
best
get-
centre half in the world, who was
squad
playing
player?
every single game.
I think
I
we're
think
playing.
everybody plays 20 games a season, no matter who you are. I think the
No,
squad
you're
thing
not,
is
not for
finished.
90 million quid. You don't.
I think the squad thing is going to be a bit.
Well, if you get injured, you probably do.
Is
Wouldn't
there
surprise
any,
me if we got someone on loan.
is there anything behind this rumour of Sterling being
Sterling
offered
coming back?
Yeah.
I'd take,
Realistically, now,
I would take Sterling.
I'd have him back
I think
Phil,
Klopp.
ring Blackpool there
Hang on.
and see if they've
But
any
we don't
rocks.
play
If they've any rocks on
Hello,
us.
Blackpool.
Sterling.
What?
Guardiola loves
I
Sterling.
don't know. There was
He
just
does, yeah.
there was a rumour
He's like a
today.
pet project
apparently.
for him, isn't he?
I mean, I take Sterling.
Well, hasn't he only got
a
a year or 2 years left on
Yeah,
his
I think
contract?
it's
Just
Yeah,
like
it is his
Mahrez as
contract.
well for 60 million.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but as we said, it's 67 million sterling, which we know after Boris Johnson exiting the Brexit. Yes,
Exiting the Brexit. Then?
Yeah,
It's only £15. Punts.
15 punts,
Well, euros gone.
83 Deutschmarks.
They're going
That's-
to
my man-
rename Britain
2 million
to
lira.
Brexit.
As my man would say, it's 72 liros.
Liros. Do you remember drachma?
I do remember
Remember when you go on
yeah.
holidays to Greece
You'd have
back in the
loads
day?
of shit.
You'd have a billion drachma going out the door.
Yeah.
I tell you, Sterling in that front three would be immense.
As part of that,
He
as
would
part of
be.
that
Dave,
four,
you know
at home to sides that are going to sit deep.
In front of the
You've-
three, in front of the four, behind the two,
The
in
Heidi
front of the
2,
one.
the Heidi 8.
Anywhere across those.
No, but if you're going to play that formation that we played against Brighton last game of the season, where you're going to have 4 up front, but Firmino dropping off, and you got Sterling doing that and work.
What'd you do with that?
I'd
Yeah,
take
I'd
him
have
back.
Sterling back tomorrow. No
I'd
problem.
have him back tomorrow.
I'd have him for 90 million, I think.
He's not liked by the English press, is he?
No,
Because
not
he's
at
a gun
all.
tattoo.
I think there is a chance that he might look abroad because of the issues with the press.
The problem he's
No,
going to
he'd
have
be
is
easy,
we're not
man.
going to beat his wages.
No,
when he's
we're
going
not,
to City.
no.
That's
That
why
was the
he'll go
original
somewhere
issue.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll go somewhere else. We're not going
Downstairs.
to. We're going to spend
Yeah.
200
Get a little bit of car packing.
See you later. We'll probably finish by the time we get back.
All
So
right,
just say
10
goodbye
minutes.
to
10 minutes. 10 minutes. Casey, come
Oh,
on.
no, yeah. Lads, mentions of downstairs. There's mentions of Ericsson.
Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, I think he's only got a year left.
I
on his
think I
Spurs
genuinely
contract.
think there is. Spurs have a big issue, especially with the amount of players that have gone so far in the World Cup for Belgium and for France and England. I think Spurs can be absolutely destroyed by teams just picking them off. They don't have any money. They lead the stadium bill has gone massively over budget what it was supposed to. They're going to be struggling. They're now in the situation that Arsenal were in when they moved into the Emirates, that they're not signing players. They're not going to be signing top class players because they can't afford it. They don't pay the wages that any other top 6 club is paying. I can't see why you wouldn't rock the boat.
How much would you? Let's say.
But not even signing Eriksen. Why not rock the boat? Why not put a bid in for Kane? Why? Because just to rock the boat.
Well, I was going to say what I would do.
I don't want.
If
I
you
don't want
wanted a
Kane.
Spurs player, you take Dele Alli.
No, you don't. No.
I would. I would play him where Oxlade-Chamberlain played last year.
I'd have Hunmi's son, whatever his name is. I'd have Son first.
Yeah, he's very good.
I'd have Son over all of them. Although Harry Kane is.
I take Alli.
I'd take Harry Kane.
But
Let's be
again, thinking about how you do the biggest damage to Spurs, you go and take like Dele Alli or Harry Kane is how you do the biggest.
But the thing is with Spurs, all you need to do is rock the boat. You just put a bid
Or
in.
Hugo Lloris.
Well, they're never going to
Lloris.
replace Kane. So if Kane goes, Spurs will never.
No, they won't. No.
Right, lads, we're coming up here. Just as we finish out, right, we'll just float back to the France game. like
I forgot about that.
like a Billy Connolly comedy show. We'll just digress back to what we started on.
Yeah. See, it all fits together.
I know,
It all
yeah.
fits together.
But
Yes.
Mbappe and the lads up front, Griezmann really hasn't set this tournament on fire in the way that we thought he was going
No,
to.
Mbappe has though.
Mbappe has,
Mbappe
but
has.
Griezmann hasn't. Is that because it's more to do with the system than necessarily?
Yeah, I
because
think-
he plays off Costa for Atletico Madrid. He plays as a sort of almost as a Gerrard off a Torres.
But that's why Giroud is in the starting 11, because to try and get the best out of Griezmann, because Griezmann can then play off him. Whereas when the first game they played had Dembele wide and Griezmann through the middle, it just didn't work. Who was that? Australia was that? Australia was the first game and they drew. Yeah, they won 2-1.
And I think that,
But
go on.
they just I don't think. I think if you put Zidane in charge of that French team, which I think might happen after the World Cup, I think they just cut loose and they can dominate for the next 10 years because of the players that they have coming
It'll
through.
be Zidane or Wenger, I think, takes over.
Yeah.
And, I think if you're, you got that squad, and it feels to me like Giroud is the wrong player to force into that team. You find room for other players,
Let me wrap this with a look ahead to the England game winning tomorrow night. Lads, is there any chance that Croatia can win this match? Is Subasic fit? Does anyone know? Is Subasic fit?
I don't even know who he is. Well,
He's the goalkeeper of Croatia,
yeah, he's really good.
and that's one of the fellas that I'd mentioned before because he plays.
No, I
at
know.
Monaco.
Yeah, no, I'm only taking the piss.
Well, he looked pretty fucked after the last game, didn't he?
He looked banjaxed.
In my opinion, I
To
think
echo
England
O'Brien
will-
Kerr show. He looks banjaxed there.
In my opinion, I think England will beat Croatia tomorrow night and they'll beat France in the final. Is there a possibility Croatia can beat England? Of course there is, because they have lots of ways to exploit that England team. But I think, and now the writing on the cup is there's a lot of balls talk, but I just think
It's looking England's way, isn't it?
it just feels that way.
Dave,
It's momentum, Dave.
as good as that Croatian midfield is, what's up front isn't that impressive. So even though you might be able to get the ball through to Mandzukic and Kramaric, they're not the ones that are likely to do cause
Doesn't
them
matter.
trouble.
Because do you know what's going to happen? Big Degsy
Yeah,
from a corner,
Last minute, boom.
1-0.
but is he going to manage to ping an own goal in off Henderson's
Going to
head?
come off
Just a
Henderson,
bit of that too.
Yeah.
little header down,
Yeah.
Henderson off his backside in the goal.
Do you reckon Pickford could do a dropsy?
I think
This
that
could
would
be the
just
moment.
Do you know the save? The save, it was gone with.
I know, yeah.
No, I'm trying to think.
And only for he saved it, they had got a corner.
I know.
So here's the perfect way for England to lose. Degsy Lovren,
Yes.
89th minute,
I'm drinking that cancer.
comes up for a
Oh,
header,
actually, sorry.
hits Harry Maguire's Ford Mondeo overhead,
It's a Minecraft block.
goes through Pickford's legs,
Yeah.
and his arms are too short to reach down to get it.
Can't reach down to grab it in time.
And then
Henderson tries to clear it off the line.
they think it's offside, but VAR gives it.
Oh, you want the VAR?
I want the VAR. That's
You
what I
want months of VAR is bollocks because it knocked us out of the World Cup, when actually VAR so far has more or less proved everything to be right.
Oh, it's been
VAR's
spot
brilliant.
on.
VAR,
Yeah.
of
It's
course
been brilliant.
it is.
It needs to be sharpened up, but more information relayed. But yeah, no, it is brilliant.
So for me, England, they've had their fun. They got to the semi-finals.
Time.
Let's
Time
not
to
go
wrap it up now,
overboard.
lads.
Come
Fuck off
on.
home. It's 11 o'clock.
Let's not go overboard here now.
This,
you know?
like, if they go any further, it's going to be a bit concerning.
Yeah, it's like Trump. Everyone was saying Trump won't win, Trump won't win, Trump won't win.
I was saying he would, though.
And this
So
is
we're now equating
Phil
England winning
Dixon.
the World
The
Cup to
big
Donald
worry-
Trump becoming the
it
leader of
is.
the free world.
That's I would rather Trump
The big
get a
worry
second
is
term.
that Phil predicted that this was going to happen in the
You'd
preview.
rather
Probably
Trump get a
done.
second.
I'd rather Trump got a second term than England win the
I
World
also
Cup.
predicted Trump would win the election and that Brexit was going to be a yes vote. So,
I make quite a bit.
Yeah,
of
but
money
you
off
just
Brexit.
picked the worst out of
Yeah,
any
Phil, you're just a
single
prick.
scenario. Like,
You're
you
just a
know?
prick.
well, if that's the
If
case,
I said,
then
is it
you'd
going to
get
rain
right.
tomorrow, I'll be
If I'm
sunny.
an
You know, it's
Englishman,
gonna rain.
you're going, Phil's a legend.
Yeah.
He predicted
You're the
Brexit.
octopus.
Yeah.
Phil the octopus.
Not even the
octopus.
English
Phil
want
Thomas.
the English to win. Not even the majority of people in England.
I think
they do.
genuine. I think the country could implode. After seeing the scenes that
There won't
happened
be a
last
fucking
Saturday.
bus stop.
Okay, so after what I said, what
Or
happened in
like
1938, and if England win the World Cup, World War III.
There's a lad, Jack McIndoe, he's getting
Well,
very
yeah,
upset
Trump will get
because
a
he made a
second
comment.
With
Who
what?
made
And
a
I,
comment?
and I didn't mention it because he said, keep Lovren as VVD partner or bring in another centre back. If so, who, lads? Right, I'm going to end this, right? Get over this Lovren thing. He's actually the best defender statistically at the World Cup. He's
We
the
have
sixth
our
best.
four
He's the
centre-halves.
best non-goal scoring player at the World Cup, right? And
He was excellent last season. So
he was excellent last season.
Listen,
And
statistics
Get on the
involved.
Lovren bus.
I do think we should bring in another centre back, but I don't think. If I know for a fact, if we sign another centre back, every single Dorizo dust monster out there will have him starting the first game, even if he hasn't done a single pre-season
Listen,
training
it doesn't
session.
We
matter.
said this earlier, right?
Yeah.
If we signed Imuti, who's playing for France now, right? Who? The guy who scored the winning goal. for
Umtiti.
France. You watched him.
Yeah, Umtiti.
You watched
You
him.
pronounced it incorrectly, Dave. Sorry. Umtiti is his name. Do you want to try again? Say it after me. There's 2 syllables. T. 3 syllables, actually.
There's
Oh,
two
but
syllables.
you're all mad.
Yeah.
We're not signing Jimenez. We're not signing. Just get over it.
No, we're not signing the centre
No,
half.
listen, we have our 4 centre
Dejan
halves.
Lovren is starting next season.
Dejan Lovren is
And
our
deserves
second
to.
choice centre half.
Deserves to.
Yeah.
Deserves to.
Unless we, no, I'm not even going there.
With
No,
that,
no.
is it penalties or not against Croatia tomorrow for England?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I think Croatia don't have the legs after playing 2 penalty shootouts in the knockout stages.
Why?
Because they played a week ago?
I think penalty shootouts take a lot less out of your legs.
Not
than
the
having
extra
to run
time.
90 minutes.
It's the momentum, Phil.
The extra time.
Degsy Lovren.
Degsy Lovren to bang
In off
the winning
Maguire.
penalty. The winning penalty.
Give
Do you know
by
what? He could
VAR.
possibly break Henderson's cruciate tomorrow.
Given by VAR, and if the referee was
What's the
German, that
armband?
would just like.
It's the Turkish lads.
Oh, Senate cunt.
Senate, yeah. Senate cunt.
Yeah.
What?
Love it.
Not the
called
Turkish
cunt,
referee, Cunty, or his name is actually
Kunit or Kunit or something like
Kunit
that.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Just think
Don't
of
I-
the,
don't
just
try
think
and
of
say
the
something
Turkish-Russian links. The things that are going on the press at the moment. If I was an English player now, I wouldn't be looking forward to getting any decisions in tomorrow night's World
So
Cup.
It won't be
because
kicking
Turkey
in
have a
the ball
border,
ground.
so
No.
Turkey have a border with Russia, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're saying, is it?
We're
Is
just
that what we're saying?
All we're saying is that the Turkish lads and the Russian lads are mates.
Brings us back
right?
to
Yeah,
1938.
but won't the Russian lads be more pissed off at the Croats for beating them?
Maybe not. Because they
I
were saying,
don't
well,
know.
at least if they beat the English lads, who are blaming us for all their own chemical attacks that's going on at the moment.
Yeah. Do you reckon Russia are like?
Allegedly.
At least we can say we
Allegedly.
lost to the winners. Like, so you want Croatia? You know, like when we get knocked out of the cup, sometimes you're like, oh, at least let's say we lost to the winners.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you know what actually?
I don't think they're even
we
paying
don't.
attention
Do
to
you know
the
who
World
we
Cup now.
don't want to win the World Cup is Croatia, because Lovren will come back thinking he's Maldini.
But he is.
And he is.
Lovren
But he thinks he's
Oh,
Melanie
he's
already.
sorry.
Like.
I
Right,
digress,
with that,
excuse me.
lads, prediction for the next friendly Liverpool playing. I think we play, is it Blackburn Rovers? Or a team that starts with B somewhere in the Northwest.
I
Bradford.
think
Bury, isn't it?
we
No?
will.
See?
I
it's Bury.
literally have no idea. I mean,
Okay.
we'll win.
Just say 2 numbers, Dave.
I think.
2 numbers. That's all you have to say.
Two numbers.
2 numbers.
Two
They
numbers.
said ice.
What are you going for?
2 numbers.
And you?
Carry us to drop one in.
A goal.
Yeah.
Like when Rainey used to go up front in
That was the
pre-season
best. I
friendlies.
played centre midfield one time over in
What's the
Austria
young
or
lad who
something,
took a
wasn't he?
penalty last year?
Camille Grabber.
Get him back.
Cabara, yeah. He'd be third choice keeper this year.
He's walking in supermarkets down the road there.
With that, good evening, good night, God,
God
bless.
bless.
Thanks for
Good
watching.
evening,
It's
good
been
luck.
it's been Dave Thomas. It's been Neil Gray.